Hello and welcome once again, fellow vinyl aficionados. Little 10 album challenge from Frank from channel 33 RPM. He put that out today. Basically, it was take 10 albums, and if you haven't listened to them in the last year, listen to them again and then come back and report on them later. So he had his lovely wife help pick 10 albums for him. I don't have the luxury of that. I haven't been able to talk Mrs. Racer onto the channel as of yet. So here's a little clip of me time-lapse picking my 10 random albums. Okay, so there's the 10. So I'm going to go through them, and I've kind of looked at in advance of what I've got, but and there's a few that I have listened to in the last while, but there's a bunch that I haven't. So anyway, without further ado, I pointed out that was Frank's channel back there, right? Channel 33 RPM. It's good stuff. Make sure you watch. Okay, so first off, and I don't know if I put them in order how I picked them, but anyway, you saw me pick them off of the shelves randomly. This is Asia, and this is their debut. I believe this was their debut way back in the day. Great stuff. Very good guitars. Lots of keyboards, good stuff. Heat of the Moment, obviously the big song off of this one. So there is the first random that I have not listened to this one in the last year, so I will give this one another shot. I hear Heat of the Moment all the time. Heck, we probably all heard it today on classic rock radio, but I will give this one a listen and report back in the reply, or you know what I mean, the other video, when we've all listened to the albums that we pick, and then we come back and we talk about them. It's a good album. I know it's a good album. This one I have actually listened to in the last little bit because this was gifted to me by a very nice lady. She had some albums. She was selling her turntable. She just didn't want the albums anymore. So she gifted them to me, and I have really appreciated them. And this is Blossom Dearie, and it's called The Hits. And I'm not necessarily sure that they were hits per se, but just a bunch of wonderful, wonderful, great, easy listening jazz, mellow torch music, if any of that makes sense. If you go seek out Blossom Dearie and listen to some, you will understand better yourself. So that was another random, and that was one that I have listened to in the last year. In fact, I think I listened to it a couple of days ago. This one I know I haven't listened to in a long time, and you know what? There's a couple that I don't know for sure that I have even ever listened to. I had to have listened to them at some point. But this is, of course, Christopher, most well known for Spanish Train and Other Stories, I would think, anyway. A little card battle between the devil and God. I'm not sure what is on here. Is there anything that was a hit on here? I don't think there was. Anyway, Crusader. So that's what I'm going to have to listen to. Christopher Crusader. So I've listened to one so far. I have to listen to two. This one I've listened to recently, but probably not within the last year. So I don't know if that counts as recent, but this is Station to Station by this gentleman that you may have heard of along the line. His name is David. So there's one that is always worth a listen, and I don't know the last time that I did, so I will listen to that and report back. But I'm going to report that it's pretty darn good. Oh, I wanted to point out, Frank, if you're watching this, in honor of Fly on the Wall, that was one that your wife chose. I got this for Christmas from my mom. So this is my AC/DC Fly on the Wall t-shirt. There you go. Next one that I pulled randomly was Green Day and Dookie. Awesome album. I think I listened to it last week. I'll listen to it again next week. Going to go and see them, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas in Minneapolis in August. I think it's August that we're going. Really looking forward to it. One of the concerts we've got planned for 2024. 2023 was a great year. 2024 is going to be great because Green Day's live is going to be in it, and I haven't seen them before. I have listened to that album, so that's not one that I have to listen to and report back. But all the same, this one is a band out of Montreal, Canada that maybe not everyone will be familiar with. Probably though, but not this album, because Worlds Apart was the big album that had Wind 'Em Up and On the Loose. And this, of course, is Saga. Did this have a song that was a hit on it? I can't remember. I don't think it did, actually. Still a very good album. And if you want keyboards, you got keyboards on here. So there's one that I'm going to have to listen to. I've listened to Worlds Apart recently, but that one I will have to listen to. Another band that you are probably familiar with. This one happened to come out, and this is Steely Dan and You Can't Buy a Thrill. Interesting album cover. If you've never looked at it, make sure you check it out. This one should have made my top 10 illustrated album covers because it's got some stuff going on, but make sure you check out the cover, if nothing else, of Can't Buy a Thrill. But Do It Again on here. Lots of good stuff. Little Steely Dan. Probably not within the last year, so I'll give that one a re-listen. Here's one that's got some autographs on it. Happens to be that way. And this is Priestess. They didn't have a ton of success. They kind of had that one song a little while ago. And that is on here. Lay Down. Yeah, that one's on here. So, you know, not a lot of success for these guys. And I'm going to have to listen to it again. I believe that it is a colored variant. Yes, it is. Not that that matters, but you know what? Show off your color variants where you can for those that care about the color variants. So Priestess and Lay Down was the big song, but I will have to listen to this one. But I do have the autographs by the boys. There you go. And what do we got? How many more do I got? I got 2 more to go. Okay. Guitar player out of England, Eric Clapton. Money and Cigarettes. What is on here? The Shape You're In. Lots of good stuff on here. Slow Down Linda. Anyway, there's one that I will have to listen to. I do enjoy myself some Clapton from time to time, but it's been a little while since I've listened to Eric. So there you go. That's one I have to listen to. Money and Cigarettes. Eric Clapton was one of my randoms, and the last random is one that I have 3 or 4 copies of. I don't have a lot that I have multiple copies of, but this happens to be one of them, and it is the solo album by the Catman himself. It was just his birthday in December. Lots of cool kids born in December. But this, of course, is Peter Criss, one of the 4 solo albums that the guys put out back in the day. But I've got a clean copy in this sleeve. I've also got my original copy in this sleeve. Definitely a little more beat up. And then if you were to see over there, and if you watched my room tour, you would have seen there's the picture discs of all of these solo albums are over there as well. This is the most maligned, I think, of the solo albums. I think if you were to rate them, personally, I'll just do that quick. Ace for sure, then probably Gene's, then Paul's, then Peter's. But actually, the last 3 kind of rotate around. Ace's is the best, and then the other 3 are kind of, you know, 1B, 1B, and 1B. You know what I mean. Anyway, there's the last random. So this one I will have to listen to because I have not for a little while. And again, I don't think it's that bad. Tossin' and Turnin's kind of a fun one on here. That's the kind of sugar that Papa likes. It was a little different, that's for sure. But Peter Criss solo album. So there you go. There's the 10. There is the Peter Criss solo album, Money and Cigarettes from Eric Clapton. That one I've got to listen to. Priestess. I have to listen to that. Hello Master, the name of that album. We've got Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill. I'll have to listen to that one because it's been a little while. Saga and Heads or Tails is the name of that one. Not to be confused with the better known Worlds Apart. Dookie by some kids from the States. I was going to say California. I'm pretty sure that's where everybody's from. Anyway, Green Day, David Bowie, Station to Station. Have to listen to that one. Krista Burr. I have to listen to that one for sure because it's been a long time, if at all. And I really like him, but I'm not sure that I've listened to that one. This one's great, though. Look up Blossom Dearie. Go and see and if you can find yourself some. This happens to be the hits. And the last one is Asia. And you skip over Heat of the Moment. Not that it's not a good song, but you've heard it a billion times. So there you go, Frank. There's 10 random polls that I did. I'm not sure if that's what you were shooting for, if you wanted someone else to do it, but you saw I didn't cheat. You could see the time lapse at the beginning. So there's the 10, and I will report back on the ones that I did not or have not listened to in the last year. So there is the 10 album challenge. Thanks again very much to Frank from Channel 33 RPM. Great channel. If you're watching mine and you've never seen his, what are you doing? Go watch Frank's. I mean, continue to watch mine. Like, subscribe, do all those YouTubey things, but make sure you go and check out Channel 33 RPM. I'll put the link to it in the description to this one. Thanks again, everyone. See you soon.